Welcome to Behind Sports, the show that spotlights athletes and sports professionals in their journey through life and in sports. I'm your host, Scott Reinen. Thanks so much for joining me as we go to the next level and find out what fuels the best in sports. Allison Baver is an American short track speed skater, originally from Reinen, Pennsylvania. Baver graduated from Penn State University with a bachelor's degree in marketing and management and earned an MBA from the New York Institute of Technology. As a member of the U.S. short track speed skating team since 2002, she has earned multiple medals in ISU Short Track World Cup competition and won her first national championship in 2007. Allison is also a three-time Winter Olympian, competing in 2002, 2006, and 2010. She earned a bronze medal in the 3,000-meter relay in the 2010 Vancouver Olympic Winter Games. This is Behind Sports with U.S. speed skater Allison Baver. All right, well, I'm excited to introduce my guest, Allison Baver. Allison, thank you so much for coming on the show and talking with us.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, so I've already given the audience an overview of your career and given them some backstory, but I'd love to hear out of your, from your perspective on, where you grew up, how you got into speed skating, and what you're doing today.
Sure. Yeah, I grew up in a small town outside of Philadelphia called Reinen, Pennsylvania, and I started actually on roller skates when I was maybe 4 years old. I had Fisher-Price skates that attached to my sneakers, and I'd do cartwheels on the sidewalk, and I remember sitting on my parents' couch, watching my sister and brother playing video games with my skates on, like legs crossed, side ponytail, bangle bracelets. I was just always in my skates. And it wasn't until I was a junior in high school is when I started actually ice skating. I was a competitive inline speed skater by that time and had competed at a very high level in inline skating, won the national championships, competed in a World Cup, the first World Cup inline skating ever had in Bogota, Colombia. And I had a coach, a mentor, his name was Sean, who inspired me to try ice skating. And I also saw it on television and thought it was kind of cool. My dad pointed it out, and, some people that I knew were doing it. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to try this, and tried ice skating and, just got better and better every time. And by the 2002 Olympic Games, I had moved to train for the Games about a year and a few months before the Olympics and broke the American record, qualified for my first Olympic team, and started competing internationally, winning lots of World Cup medals. Went to another Olympics in 2006, which is just, was a dream come true. And had some injuries along the way, some setbacks. I was still going to college. I'd finished at Penn State. By 2006, I think I was actually in my master's. I was going to school for my MBA. And then around the 2010 Olympic Games, I had reached the pinnacle. I was a gold medal contender in more than one distance and contending for the World Cup title in the 1,500 meter, had broken my own American record numerous times, broke the world record at that point, and had more World Cup medals than any short track female in history when I broke my right leg, making a pass to win the World Cup title in the 1,500 meter. And that was, that's kind of when things maybe got real, let's just say. And I had to dig really, really, really deep to come back in time for the 2010 Olympics because it was less than a year away. And I ended up competing in Vancouver and winning a bronze medal, which was phenomenal. And for the past few years, I've been skating both long track and short track, and just decided to retire recently. So it's been quite a journey, over 3 Olympic Games, an Olympic medal, and I'm really happy now to focus on my foundation, Off the Ice Foundation, and really give back the best that I can.
Yeah, that's great. And I think we're going to talk a little bit more about that moment where where you kind of have to pick yourself back up and how it makes you stronger. But initially, I'd like to talk more about your foundation too. Can you tell us a little about what you're doing? And I know you guys have a fundraiser coming up around the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the foundation is called Off the Ice. So you can visit offtheice.org and make an online donation today. That would be fabulous. We partnered with Rollerblade. Rollerblade has a skate in schools program, and we donate, Off the Ice donates inline skates to gym classes through that program, which is just really cool. Because I started on roller skates and inline skates, and I really feel like it's a grassroots component for a lot of different sports, and just getting kids active in a different way, introducing them to something they maybe would have never done otherwise is, a really cool thing. But the primary purpose of the foundation is really we have a core value called Achieve Great Things. Mm-hmm. So, that transcends into your body and your health, as well as, the community and your peers and success in school. And so we really tie in the program in a lot of integrated ways. But, one of the core purposes for me, that I hold dear to my heart is my grandmother. She died of lung cancer. Mm-hmm. And she smoked for years. And she didn't know, when she started, that smoking could kill you, and obviously lead to an inactive lifestyle. And, there was no way I would be able to compete if I smoked cigarettes, right?
Right.
So when she died of lung cancer, I just realized, why didn't I pick up a cigarette? What happened? Why do some kids pick up a cigarette? Why are some people, kids not active? Why are they obese? Why is obesity so big in this country and causing disease and causing cancer? And, I see so many people donating to cancer causes, and which is all phenomenal. But I really wanted to kind of tackle it where it starts, and that's by being healthy and being active. And if kids don't get active between the ages of 8 and 11, mm-hmm. their statistics will show that you will never be active, and you won't lead an active lifestyle. So I think it's really important. And obviously with, just introducing kids to, like I said, something that they maybe would have never done before, and get the gears rolling, when it comes to, just other fun ways of being active. And, that's really the purpose behind the foundation. The underlying purpose, I guess, is really to fight obesity and to help cure diseases, and to make sure, maybe instead of a kid picking up a cigarette and hanging out after school, they'd be, roller skating or something like that back home like I did.
Sure. And I always think it's great when athletes use their platform too to do better. And we love spotlighting athletes on behind sports that are using, their celebrity and their platform, for what they have in sports to really give back and give, in this case, for, helping kids get on the right path. And in memory of your grandmother, that's amazing. It really is cool.
Oh, thank you.
So you had also talked about a time when you were down and really had to pick yourself back up. Can you talk to us a little bit more specifically about that situation and how it made you stronger?
Being an athlete at this level, first of all, you put a lot of stress on yourself. There's a lot of mental, you want to be number one, you want to be the best. And, if you don't achieve certain goals in the day, you're really hard on yourself. And, what kind of happened in my case was I was performing absolutely phenomenal, better than anybody had ever performed in the United States before. However, what got me there was being extremely overcritical of myself, extremely, that race wasn't good enough, or that practice wasn't good enough. I would award myself, I think, in certain ways, a little bit, but not much. That drive was pretty, nothing was ever really quite good enough for me in terms of my performance, and that's obviously what got me to the top. But when I fell and broke my leg, now I'm at the bottom, and that's a very humbling experience to go through when you're so used to being at the top and you don't realize it. I didn't realize, I was number one or whatever, top 3, top 5 in the world for over 8 years. That's insane. And now all of a sudden, it's a long time. And, now I'm at the very bottom. So that was something that it wasn't hard. It was just basically like an experience, I guess, and perspective on being number one and what it's like to be at the bottom. But for me, I had to, the perspective of confidence had changed a lot because, when I walked into the ice rink and, I'm limping and my leg hurts really bad and it's swollen and I could barely fit into my skate. And, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to warm up that day because, my ankle hurts so bad. This is before the 2010 Olympic Games. I had to project confidence. I had to be confident and tell myself that there was no injury, that I was completely fine, and that I was going to step on the ice and skate amazing that day. And it was really, mind over matter, but I had to believe in that. I really had to believe in that. And that's where mind over matter works. But there's obviously times, when mind over matter doesn't work, when you maybe don't have that internal belief. So it really just taught me how to be, a different type of confidence. And it also kind of taught me that maybe I didn't have the confidence that I needed, when I was number one, because I was always so overcritical, and you see the Muhammad Ali, saying, oh my God, I'm the greatest, and embracing that when I was a little bit overcritical of myself. And, but like I said, that's what got me there. So it's kind of interesting for me looking back because, when you have, I think, a story that teaches, we all go through things and we all have these like lessons in life, and they're, it's like, well, for me, what I took out of that whole thing, what I took away from breaking my leg was confidence. That's it. And that's something big, but it's nothing I really thought of until it was gone, and then I start thinking, as I'm next to Paris Hilton on the red carpet, okay, this is a true story. Wow, she's really confident. It's like, and I have a little bit of a booty. I can't lie about that. And then I look at Kim Kardashian, like, wow, she's really confident too. So there's obviously different levels of confidence. And, maybe I'm just the type of athlete. What I learned is, the type of athlete that I am is I'm a little bit more internal about it.
Sure.
And, I was equally as confident as Muhammad Ali. However, I would just get that from music or get that from other things versus, projecting it and being cocky about it or whatever. So, those are the things I learned.
And that's cool. And I think a lot of people take different things. People deal with hardship in different ways. And I think getting that emotional confidence or just kind of regaining it again is such a huge value. And it's so cool. And I'm glad glad you shared that with us. I appreciate that. And it's so awesome to see that how you persevered after that too. That's
Thank
tremendous.
You. Yeah, I mean, I had goals. I had goals of, reestablishing that mind-body connection.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that one big thing for me was being able to wear heels, actually.
You don't think
I
about
wear
that.
heels like a speed skate, So these little goals, and, in the end, it, I think, boils down to, what the Olympics and the pursuit of excellence is all about, pushing yourself further, going beyond what you think is humanly possible. And you can do that, not only in athletics, but, in giving back, like to the foundation or in, you see surgeons saving lives in the ER. There's a lot of ways. The doctor that did my surgery on my leg when I came back, she went above and beyond. And the Olympic motto is actually faster, higher, stronger. And it's Sidious Albius Scordius. It's like this ancient quote that really never meant so much to me until after I broke my leg. And even after, X amount of Olympic Games, I didn't quite get it. It really took that happening for me to get what the pursuit of excellence really, 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 truly is. So anyway, that's my story.
Very good. Well, no, I appreciate you sharing it with us. So going back when you first started competing, can you remember when that moment of, like absolute clarity was like, hey, I can really compete with the best here. I can do this. I can be the best.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't really know if there was any real particular moment, because I always knew and felt in my heart that I could or I was. So I always expected more out of myself.
Right.
Like if I went to the starting line and, I kind of always just expected more. So I don't think there was no real moment of clarity, but there was, one moment in 2010 when I was on the ice warming up and I looked around and there's only like, a handful of girls out there. I'm like, wow, like this is it, huh? Like I'm one of the best in the world. That's
right.
Cool.
Yeah, no, that definitely.
And that's where it's like, oh wow, it kind of hit me hard at that point. But I'm at the Olympics and it's the finals are in like 20 minutes, But I also felt a sense at that point. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just saying sometimes you just, when you look around, you realize that where you are and it's like, holy cow, this is where I am.
Yeah, because you're working so hard, like with your chin down, like that's what I tell people, you work so hard with your chin down and, someone taps you on the shoulder. It's like, look up, you made it kind of thing.
So can you name a few people that you admire and why, and people that you've looked up to kind of along your journey?
Definitely my parents are my biggest inspiration. My mom and dad, they both are very, very, very hard workers. And my dad's taught me what dedication to that is. And, my mom teaching me to, really never give up and always kind of doing it in a very positive way that has, I guess, I've always been fortunate enough to have parents that have been very supportive, but, they've been married for, 30 years and they just really inspire me.
That's
so
awesome.
Definitely my parents. And then, the third would probably be Oprah Winfrey because she's just phenomenal when it comes to giving back. And I love that she still does, like no matter how much money she's made and, how famous she is internationally, she still, is doing that every day. And that demonstrates what the power, of giving back is and how you can, she's using her purpose in life to the fullest potential. Mm-hmm. And I just admire her for that.
Yeah, that's great. I think she's one of the most amazing people with giving back and things. I mean, a lot of people can really learn a lot of lessons from her as far as how she uses her platform. So one last question before we start wrapping up. If you could go back and talk to the 18-year-old version of yourself, what advice would you give?
Probably to lay off the chicken wings, and the pizza. I think when I was 18, it was my first year of college. So I was at Penn State University and I was working full time and I was skating maybe only once a week is when I just started. So yeah, I'd say that my advice would probably be not to have no fear.
Okay.
And I was a little afraid to move away from home and I was a little afraid to, really, I was a little clueless actually in the world. And luckily I had people, that guided me and believed in me and saw things. So I would probably have to say, to kind of open my eyes and to be a little bit fearless.
Awesome.
That'd be my advice.
Very good. So you guys are doing the shirt during the Super Bowl, right? For the Off the Ice Foundation. Where can everybody find you and where can we find out more information about this?
Well, Athlete Brands, they're going to be helping promote a campaign surrounding the Super Bowl to help the Off the Ice Foundation. So we're definitely going to have more information on my Twitter, which is at Allison Baver, on my Facebook, which is the same, Allison Baver, and my foundation, offtheice.org, and also on Athletes Brands website.
Very cool. Well, I look forward to that. And Allison, it was great talking with you. Really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us and wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors.
Thank you. And I'd just like to say thank you for everyone that buys the T-shirt and supports Off the Ice Foundation. It's appreciated.
Perfect. Thanks, Allison.
Have a good one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to the show and supporting us at Behind Sports. We're very excited this year for all of our amazing guests that we have coming on the show, and we'd love to hear from you. So please reach out to us. We're at Behind Sports on both Facebook and on Twitter, so shoot us a tweet or leave us a Facebook comment. We also have complete write-ups and bios for all of our guests that accompany each interview on behindsports.com. We're definitely doing this show so that you can learn from some of the most successful people in the sports industry and really how they got to the top. If you do enjoy the show, we'd love for you to subscribe on iTunes and leave us a review. Again, my name is Scott Reinen. Please reach out to me personally if you have any questions regarding the show or any of our guests. I'd definitely love to hear from you. Thanks again for listening to Behind Sports, and we'll see you next time.